Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. The Ministry of Health and Wellness today, Wednesday, the 19th of May 2021, received confirmation of 35 new cases of COVID-19 from the Ezra Long Lab. This from a total of 243 samples. Arrangements have since been made to place these newly diagnosed individuals in isolation. The contact tracing for these new cases is underway. Confirmation was also received of the recovery of 4 individuals, bringing the total number of active cases to 244. At present, one of the active cases is requiring critical care at the respiratory hospital. The new cases bring the total number of cases diagnosed in country to date to 4,906. Reports have surfaced about confirmed cases of COVID-19 among the student population. There are concerns that cases may be spiking within schools, but the Ministry of Education assures that such fears are unfounded. Nisha Charles reports.
There has been no spike in COVID-19 cases among schools in St. Lucia. So says the national epidemiologist Michelle Fassois. She notes that although the ministry continues to manage cases in schools, the percentage of school-aged children who contract COVID-19 has not increased to warrant a spike.
When we look at our analysis by school age, we have broken it down nicely, and our school age has been 9.5%, and that is really in keeping with regional and international standards. Since we have reopened schools, our numbers have not increased. We have been managing cases in schools, and it is something that we do expect. We do have community transmission in St. Lucia. Many of the homes would have young children who would be affected either by adults, their guardians, or older siblings. So it is not unusual for us to detect cases in classes.
The Ministry of Health is working closely with the Ministry of Education to ensure that no serious outbreak occurs in schools.
Contact tracing is done in the same manner that we do it for workplaces, in the same manner that we do it for the rest of the community. And those who are considered most at risk, they would be quarantined and tested and followed up in a timely manner.
Back in January, the education sector had to revert to online learning out of concern of a spike in schools. Students have since returned to the classroom to continue the remainder of the school year. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
The St. Lucia Labour Party has strongly denounced what it claims is an attempt to spread a false narrative regarding its position on Ojo Labs. According to SLP Communications Officer Mondi Lewis, there is no truth to talk of SLP intentions to close the facility.
This most recent bit of skullduggery involves the publication of a fake flyer carrying a photo of SLP political leader Philip J. Pierre with the SLP logo and a statement that an SLP government will close Ojo Labs. The SLP wishes to make it abundantly clear once more that at no time has it ever declared that it will close down Ojo Labs, neither is this its intention. As the party which introduced call centers into St. Lucia 2 decades ago, the SLP is committed to furthering the expansion of this sector, and our policy of establishing a youth economy is a further demonstration that our party is determined to create more employment opportunities for our youth. This fake flyer about the SLP and Ojo Labs is another desperate and nasty effort by the occupants of a sinking ship who are clutching at any and everything to remain afloat.
Opposition leader Philip J. Pierre says what is needed is transparency on the part of the government when it comes to Ojo Labs.
We hear about the expansion of call centers and the situation on Ojo Labs. Our position, Mr. Speaker, on Ojo Labs has always been clear. We need full disclosure of the expenses that taxpayers bear for the operation of Ojo Labs. That's all we're saying. We need full disclosure. Mr. Speaker, this cannot be a secret. I want to assure, Mr. Speaker, that this party, we want to ensure the workers at Ojo Labs that in no way we will jeopardize the prospects of employment. And we will work with management in an effort. We will work with management, but we will be transparent will have full disclosure of the benefits that the people, the owners of Ojo Labs have. The benefits will be for everyone.
The SLP has declared that the fear-mongering is doomed to fail, just like the policies of the current government, and as the angry votes of St. Lucians will show when general elections are called. A household name across St. Lucia will be remembered for his original songs. The St. Lucian musician Morgan Dupal, better known as Jim Coco Snow, was also blind. He died at hospital on Tuesday after a brief illness. The musical and blind communities are sharing the loss.
Morgan Dupal, better known as Jim Coco Snow, traveled throughout St. Lucia performing his original songs. The man who became a well-known and well-loved individual was blind, but he did not make his blindness deter him from his dreams. So when news broke of his death on Tuesday, those nearest and dearest to him felt that loss. The executive director of the St. Lucia Blind Welfare Association in particular, Anthony Averill, knew him closely as they grew up together and were both blind. He shared what he remembers most about Dupal.
From very early on as a child, he had to fend for himself. Whereas you find that with me, Anthony Averill, I had the protection and support of my family circle. But that did not bother Coco. It did not deter him. He was determined to survive. He had a contribution to make, and he was determined to make it in his own way and style. Singing was his. His uncle, he had an uncle called Charlemagne or Shumain. He was the first person that introduced the guitar to him. And later, Bo Hingson helped him to sharpen his skills in playing his guitar.
The late Dupal was taught to play the guitar by acclaimed musician Ronald Bo Hingson. According to Hingson, the news of his passing was distressing.
I was at Coco's house. I went to see Coco not too long, maybe about a month ago, to drop off something for him. And I had a long talk with him about cutting the cigarette smoking and so on, because his voice was giving him some problems. And I meant to go back to see him last week, but I was in a hurry. So I dropped off something with his daughter, who works pretty close to where he lives. So today, hearing that Coco has passed was a bit of a shocker to me, you know. I'm really saddened by this, and he'll be really missed. You know, he was a very nice guy that I really did love, and I hope his family gets the strength to deal with his loss.
Morgan Dupal was 75 at the time of his passing. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
Come the end of June, the parking terminals project for the city of Castries is expected to begin. So says the Castries mayor, who revealed that sensitization will soon follow the commencement of the project. The installation of parking meters has been on the cards for the Castries mayor since 2017.
With the goal of making the city of Castries the envy of other regional capitals, the Castries mayor Peterson Francis back in 2017 revealed plans which would focus on safety, security, and beautifying the city. At that time, Francis said that his office and the Castries Constituency Council would introduce clamping for illegal parking, car parks along the John Compton Highway, and parking meters in the city within 3 months. In 2019, the CCC signed a deal with Smart Park for the installation of the parking meters, which would see features making provisions for payment through mobile devices. On Tuesday, Hot 7 caught up with the city mayor, who said that the project would begin in quick order.
Incidentally, last week, Monday, the minister, the contractors, and ourselves had a minute to finalize this thing. So very soon, I hope, it's not going to take another week and a half, that you'll see the SI being published for the permission to have the thing. So everything is in place. Everything for the parking, the smart parking is in place. So right now, just putting the SI in thing, and we'll start doing our advertising, we'll start to sensitize people, but everything, as I speak now, is in place.
While Francis understands that the project has lagged behind, he expressed confidence that this time would be different.
Something I've spoken, I think, which I'm even ashamed of. I've spoken over and over, and I've given dates that have come and passed and so on. So I agree with you. So we are going to go on an intense sensitization as far as the public is concerned, because we'll have people coming from all over the country. And what might be very easy for you to handle might not be for them. But as we say, is street parking we have, where you find out you could actually Google, look at the spots, if there's any spots available, book the spot, pay online, and you're ready to park.
Back in 2017, public reaction was positive, with many hoping that the new changes would ease traffic congestion and parking, which would contribute to the ease of doing business in the city. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We'll be right back.